Hi there, YouTube. It is I, the one, the only, Naudia Exotica. Welcome to Vlogmas Day 18. I wanted to react to a thread that I kind of stumbled upon. Not even just react to it, but also kind of weigh in on it and give my perspective, my 2 cents, because I feel like this is something that I've kind of talked about here and there on my channel a couple times. In the grand scheme, I'm like, out of all the videos that I have, I feel like I've covered this topic a couple times, like maybe 3 times, 2 times total, I think. Maybe even 4, but the first video was privated. Actually, it was one of my first videos ever about sugar daddies, sugar dating, yada yada. And I wanted to talk about this thread. So I found this thread on a site that sounds kind of like Edit, but it starts with an R, okay? Just because I don't want to get in trouble with the YouTube people. Somehow, whenever I react to, although the last video didn't, but my last year Vlogmases, where I was reacting to things, the forums, they got demonetized. So, yeah, so this is that website, okay? For the sake of being discreet, for YouTube's sake. Yes. Okay, anyway. So, this is called Finding a Sugar Daddy as a Trans Woman, okay? And I do think this is an interesting topic because, it proved to be quite difficult, okay? At least when I was wanting to be in that kind of lifestyle, it just wasn't quite working. Just to give you kind of a backstory, every time, like way back in the day, when I would want to join a site that was explicitly sugar dating, I came up so short, so damn short. And as a matter of fact, the only successful arrangements that I actually had were on my campsites and were on my adult hotline. Okay, so like something completely not tailor-made for that specifically, you know what I mean? For that lifestyle. So anyway, this post says, so I've been on Seeking for almost a year now, on and off. That's your first mistake, I'm just going to say. And almost had 0 to no luck on the site. And if you paid for it, that's even worse. Like, I made the mistake of paying for it. Granted, it's only $25. And in comparison to like the escorting sites, it's a lot cheaper. But still, like, it's just, anyway. As a fairly well-known trans woman living in, it's come down to people thinking I'm not real, blocking me instantly, some people going out of their way to harass me and tell me I shouldn't be on the site at all, or the SD not being a real SD, sugar daddy, and not wanting to spoil me in any way, but simply intimacy. I'll say that. Just wondering if anyone else has had similar experiences or has advice to help in this case. I don't think I'm unattractive by any means, but it's difficult to connect to a daddy on this site in order to find a worthwhile SD-SB relationship. Thank you for your help. Your first mistake ever, sweetheart, was going on Seeking. That's an awful fucking site, okay? And you're going to come up short. You are going to come up short. I feel like even the other one, I think Sugar Daddy Dating, I don't know. All the other ones are just trash too. And that's your first mistake. Just flat out. This comment says, finding a legit SD that's open to a trans woman in NY or SF would be tough. And it's probably just about impossible. You might be better off trying to win the Powerball. And the original poster said, call me a naive, hopeless romantic then. And I don't really want to get into all this because this is kind of banter. I don't know. This is kind of like some sort of disagreement. I think there's like a site moderator that commented, the Seeking moderator, I think. Interesting. Anyway, this comment says, if you are fairly well known, that might actually be part of the problem. People could be Googling your pictures and finding your Instagram or whatever online and just assuming that you are a scam account. Maybe a line or two about, yes, you really are the person in the pictures and you do have a sizable online presence to warn people. Also, I would be very upfront in your profile about being trans and make sure that you are using Seeking Trans Friendly tag. Of course, but even so, it's just not... And this goes for like not even just trans sugar babies, any sugar baby. I feel like you're going to come up short. Those websites are specifically geared towards, I feel like, funneling money, allegedly. If you are trans, the pool of SDs, sugar daddies that are interested is going to be smaller, but also the amount of competition will be smaller. So it will probably come down to how good you look. It's not. I'm so sorry, but it does not come down to that. It's all a clusterfuck. And then on top of that, because there's not even a trans category to begin with on seeking arrangements. So because you're probably going to be dealing with people who aren't seeking that out initially, that's where I feel like people are getting the narrative of like, they're not looking for that. Number one. And number two, you know, they're going to be a lot more likely to fetishize you and kind of treat you more like an escort on there, right? So, also, if you are, okay, I don't want to read that. That's actually quite inappropriate for YouTube. This person says, I wish you the best of luck, but I think your odds are pretty slim. It's just not something that the majority of potential SDs are likely looking for. Some for sure, so there's hope, but it's not going to be easy. It's not that they're not seeking it. It's the fact that like I said, seeking arrangement doesn't have, I think it was actually fairly recent, maybe like 5 or so years ago, when they actually made a tag that said trans seeking or trans friendly or whatever. But even so, it doesn't place you in a separate category. It doesn't kind of like single you out. It's nothing like, again, what you would find on a campsite or, you know, a hotline site. And even then it was when I did find the few arrangements that I actually had, it was just so completely at random, you know. So then another person says, I've been on here for like 6 years and the only successful SBS sugar babies I've ever seen are cis women. Feel like you are asking for surfing lessons at an NHL game in Iowa. Have you checked trans-friendly sites and subreddits to meet successful trans sugar babies to get advice from them? If you have and not found any, it's possible there are none. There are some. I want to point this out yet again. It's like anyone calling themselves a sugar daddy, I feel as though are scam artists. It's just generous men. I feel like it's been now like 4 years now and I'm standing on this hill, bitch. I'm dying on it because it's the truth. It's been a term that was coined, I feel like, in like Hollywood and in the movies and stuff. It was glorified and then pretty much hijacked by scam artists, by people trying to funnel money and take money. So yes. Then this other comment says, if a guy has time and money, he'll more than likely get you now as far as the LTR, long-term relationship, that's difficult. I don't necessarily believe that's true either. Like, it's just about seeking something that's been completely turned upside down on the wrong kind of a site, you know? And again, it's not, but I mean, let's stop beating around the bush here. Arrangements are, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. And of course they're very intimate in nature, right? So it's almost like calling a spade and just ending up on whatever site to try and find an arrangement is much more beneficial and less time consuming, and like you're not wasting your time doing that. You'll come up with much more satisfactory results. Now, am I trying to tell you to do adult work? Absolutely not. What I am trying to tell you is you paint yourself in the same way that you have on these sugar dating sites. Somewhere else, you will have a lot better luck. Just saying. And so long as you kind of state your boundaries and say what you're absolutely against and what you're absolutely for, I do feel as though you would get some much better responses. When I was on Seeking Arrangements, the only memorable kind of interaction I ever had on there was, and it wasn't, again, I think at one point I made $100 for maybe 2 pictures. But that was like a long time ago. But I remember during my webcamming, There was someone who was like, I'm pretty sure I saw you on webcam. Do you stream on da-da-da-da site? And I was like, yeah, actually I do. Like, and that was kind of it. Like, I feel like that's the extent of any sort of, because again, like, same with the interactions. The interactions were just so bleak. So I feel like to get a response like that was better than bots, people who weren't even fucking real, people who didn't want any sort of interaction with any trans person, or being banned altogether. Because I do feel like I joined once before they did the trans friendly tag, and I think I put trans in the bio. Initially, I feel like I must have been like 19, and I'm pretty certain they banned my account on there before they had the trans friendly tag. So it's just kind of like, I think the one person said it quite eloquently. It's like asking for surfing lessons, right? In Iowa or something like that. It's just not feasible. Okay, you're looking in the wrong places. All right. All right. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or video requests, feel free to email me. My email is naudiaexotica@gmail.com. Follow all my links at naudiaexotica.com. And also don't forget to read my blog, which is naudiascuriotrove.com. And I also have Patreon, patreon.com/naudiaexotica, where you can find so much more of me over there. And until the next video, you guys, which is tomorrow. Can you believe it? We only have a week left of Vlogmas. Are you serious? Until the next video, you will be hearing from me very soon.